Hey everyone, thanks for being here today. I wanted to talk a little bit about the senior population and how coronavirus is affecting this particular population. As the virus spreads, we're seeing our older adult population amongst those being hit the hardest. This is creating a lot of fear and anxiety, which can be overwhelming. So here with me today, I have Ali Mazza. She's the owner of Brandywine Concierge Senior Services. She's going to share some of her professional insight and guidance with us. Hi, Ali. How you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Good.
thanks for
Thanks for
being here.
having me.
It's fun to see you.
I know I miss seeing you in person, but this is great.
I know. It's the next best thing. Soon we'll
Yeah.
be able to have breakfast again.
Yes. I can't wait.
Ali, so I just wanted to ask you to start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So, like you said, I'm the owner of a company called Brandywine Concierge Senior Services. And what Brandywine Concierge does is it really serves as a resource hub for families and individuals that are at that critical point where they know something needs to happen either for a loved one or for themselves as far as senior care goes. So people will call me for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes they don't know what their options are. Sometimes they have a pretty good idea, but they need to take that next step and they're not sure how to do it. Or sometimes they call me and they've already done all the research, but they just want a professional opinion on how can they kind of make it best fit their situation. So, you know, how Brandywine Concierge started was that for years and years I worked in the community side of things as an activities director and as a sales director, and I would have people come in, family members come in, and they would come in for a tour and they were just lost. And they would even say to me, why isn't there somebody that's almost like a realtor that could walk me through this process? You wouldn't buy a home, if you're smart, you wouldn't buy a home without a realtor that really knows the business. So when you're making this big decision, that's usually you making the decision for someone you really love. It's also a really important decision, and hopefully it's going to be the last move that this person makes. It's a crucial thing. And if you don't know the background of what the options are, and you go into it blind, it's not only overwhelming, it's also emotional. So I sort of serve as that person that helps guide them through the process. So nowadays things are a little bit different, but I still have lots of people calling me because, like you said, seniors are getting hit the hardest with this. And we hear a lot on the news about what communities are doing to serve like the engagement needs of seniors. And we hear about, unfortunately, some of the spread through nursing homes. But a lot of what we don't hear is about the seniors that are at home that may have had a care need before or now have a care need that are in that critical moment that now it's an additional challenge. So that's kind of what we do.
That's great. So what are you hearing from seniors and their families? What are some of their concerns?
Yeah, I hear a couple different things. So for some of my clients, a lot of what I do is helping people find the right senior living community for their loved ones.
Mhm.
So for some of my clients that have already moved their loved ones to a community that have them living there, they're just nervous about how can I keep engaged with them? How can I keep them hopeful? I can't visit, so how can I sort of bridge that gap? And we have some creative solutions. And to be very honest, the communities are doing an amazing job of this. It's a hard time for everybody, but they're really, really being creative and, for the most part, very hands-on about their approach of how they're going to keep residents engaged and connected to their families. The other side of what I'm hearing from both seniors and from their families is that for those that are living at home, they're realizing that this is maybe not as much of a safe place as they thought it was.
Yeah.
Realize how difficult it is to live independently when you have to go to the grocery store between 6 and 7 a.m. because that's the only time that it's really safe. You can't leave your home. Your telemedicine is a lot harder for older adults. And for some of the families I'm working with, they're now, let's say the adult daughter or the adult son, they're now working from home, and maybe mom and dad lives with them or lives down the street, and they're spending a lot more time either communicating with mom and dad or actually in the house with them, and they're realizing, oh my gosh, this has not been a safe situation for a while.
Yeah.
And since I have more time, is it possible for me to start making some progress towards finding what might be next for mom or dad? So it's an interesting time because we have the gift of additional time, some of us that are working from home, and people are, as I'm seeing, starting to use that time to finally make that next step. And I think a lot of what's triggering it is realizing that mom and dad are maybe not as safe at home as we thought. So
Yeah, it's something that we see after the holidays a lot as well.
right.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
So how are you being creative in order to continue to help people and serve your clients?
Sure. Well, a lot of it is not me. A lot of it is the communities. Like I said, I just cannot say enough good things about the people that are working in our senior living communities right now. They are going above and beyond, and it goes further than just, I know we hear a lot of praise for frontline associates, and we should keep building them up, but there are additional people in the background,
Yep.
the dining team, the activities teams, the sales teams that are still there, still pitching in. So most communities right now are offering like a virtual FaceTime tour, and I was kind of skeptical of that at first because, you know, when you're FaceTiming with somebody, it's not so easy to tell like where they are, or get a sense of what's going on where they're FaceTiming you from. But we've been really successful with doing these FaceTime tours. So I'll FaceTime a 3-way call with my clients, with the sales director or the executive director, whoever's at the community, and they'll give us a really great tour of the community. We get to see common areas, we can see apartments. So for those individuals that think mom and dad may need, or mom or dad may need to move within, I don't know, the next 30 days to 6 months, this is a really good way to start chipping away at eliminating some communities that might not be a good fit, get an idea of those that can, get in touch with the resources like the financial resources and the veterans resources that may take some time to kick in. And then also talk to somebody like you to start talking about, okay, when are we going to list the house so that we can get mom and dad into this community? Now, I have some families that want to make a move during all of this, and we can make that happen. A lot of communities are still allowing for emergency move-ins or case-by-case kind of situations. And then I have some families that say, no, we're not urgent. We just want to have it lined up so that when everything settles down, we can then move mom or dad in. A lot of what I've been talking to some of my families about for those that have loved ones that have dementia. So I have one family right now who they're thinking this may be the time during all of this to move mom to a memory care community. And there's a lot of research out there that actually shows that moving somebody to a community and then taking some time away, so a week or two depending on the person, is actually good for their adjustment period. Yeah. You also have a great thing to blame it on. You can blame it on a global pandemic and say you're safer there. Yeah. So a lot of what I'm doing right now with the families is walking them through how is that story going to unfold for them in their particular situation.
That's great, Allie. So what advice do you have for people who are listening right now?
I think my best advice is that especially if you are working from home and maybe you have some more flexibility or more time, take advantage of it. This is a perfect time to start this process because, as you know and as I know, this process is not something that happens usually in a week or two. Now, we can make it happen in a week or two if we have to, but you really want to do your research and have a good educated decision so that when something happens or before something happens, you already know where you're headed. So the best advice I can give anybody that's listening is that if you know that this might be coming even in the next year or two, give me a call. We can walk through it. Everything that I do is free. So you can call me. I can talk about what your options are. And I can either point you in the right direction or we can schedule a follow-up call for when we think it's going to be more realistic.
Okay. Tell me what resources are available to people right now.
There's a lot, and I think what's been happening is that people, there are a lot of different organizations putting out resources, and what I've seen is that maybe families aren't sure where to go first or which one's the appropriate thing for them. So what myself and a group of individuals that work in this industry have done is kind of compiled like a resource center, like a call center almost. You can access it by going to covidsenior.care. And what you do is you just fill out sort of like a very brief form about what your need is, whether it's related to COVID or not, is as long as it's somehow related to senior care. And then, or you can call the number that's listed on the website. You'll speak to a person that will then direct you to the right resource. So what our goal is with that is to hopefully take away all that time you have to spend researching and calling the wrong numbers. Talk to somebody that actually is going to be able to direct you to someone that can help immediately. So that's covidsenior.care.
covidsenior.care. That's fantastic.
And that serves the whole greater Delaware Valley. If you're outside of that area, or if you just want to talk to me person to person, you can always call me too, and I can help out as well.
Okay, so how can people reach you for more information?
Yeah, sure. So my website's easy to remember. It's just brandywineconcierge.com. My cell phone number is 610-488-5180. And my email address is just Allie, ALLIE, at brandywineconcierge.com.
That's awesome, Allie. Thank you so much. So I just want to thank you for being here today, and I want to thank everyone who's watching.
Yeah.
If you know someone who would benefit from this information, please share Allie's contact information. We're here to help. So thank you all.
Thank
All
you.
right, Allie. Take care.
All right, you too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.